आज ही डाउटनट ऐप डाउनलोड करें। डाउटनट पर होगा अब आपके सभी मैथ्स, केमिस्ट्री, फिजिक्स और बायोलॉजी डाउट्स का सफाया। बस अपने क्वेश्चन की फोटो खींचो, उसे क्रॉप करो और तुरंत वीडियो सोल्यूशन पाओ। डाउनलोड नाउ।
Right, so this is our question. Here we are told that the graph of the linear function f is shown in the xy plane. The graph of the linear function g, which is not shown, is perpendicular to the graph of f and passes through the point 1, 3. What is the value of g of 0? So this is the xy plane. Here we can see that f of x is shown, but g of x is not shown. So before we can find g of 0, we need to find g of x, or the linear function g. So the information that we're given about the linear function g is that it is perpendicular to the linear function f of x. Hence, an important property to remember is if two perpendicular linear functions have slope m1 and m2, then m1 into m2 is equal to -1. So this is an important property for perpendicular lines or perpendicular linear functions. So if we can find the slope of f of x using this graph, we can find the slope of g of x, which can help us determine the function g of x, and hence we can get g of 0. So firstly, we must find the slope of this f of x. So slope of line passing through points x1, y1 and x2, y2 is given by, so if we have a line that passes through these two specific points, the slope of such a line can be represented by m is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So these are some of the important properties that we need to remember. This is how we can find slope of f of x, and this is how we will find slope of g of x. So let us say slope of f of x, which we will represent by m1, is equal to, we can see here that the points 1, 1 and 3, 0 lie, 0, 3 and 1, 1 lie on this line f of x. So here, if we write the 2 points 1, 1 and 0, 3, we can treat this as x1, y1 and this as x2, y2. Hence, using this formula, we will get 3 minus 1 by 0 minus 1, which is nothing but -2. Now that we have slope of f of x, since we know that g of x is perpendicular to this line f of x, we can get slope of g of x, which is represented by m2, is equal to -1 by m1. This we have gotten from this one. Here we have just taken this m1 down. So slope of line m2 is equal to -1 by m1. Since my m1 is equal to -2, we write this as -1 by -2, which is equal to 1 by 2. So now we have gotten the slope of the line g of x, but still we do not have the entire function g of x. Now one more thing is linear function is given by, let us say, g of x equal to mx plus c. Here m is the slope and c is the y-intercept. Let me just write that here. Slope, c is y-intercept or constant. So we know the slope of this line g of x. We have gotten it here 1 by 2. But we do not know this y-intercept as it is not shown in the graph. So we do not know. But we know that 1, 3 lies on this point g of x. Lies on this line g of x. Hence, if we put in this value of 1, 3 as x, y, we can find out this c term or the constant term. So what I mean by this is, this we get it as equivalent to half x plus c, as we have gotten half here, and this is just a general form of the linear function. So now we have g of x equal to half x plus c, and we know 1, 3 lies on this point. So if we take 3 as the value of g of x and 1 as the value of x and substitute it into this equation, we can find the constant term. So what I mean is, if we take 3 is equal to half into 1 plus c. So what I've done here is put 1, 3 as x, y in equation of g of x. So I've just put 3 as g of x and x as 1, since it was given as 1, 3. So now that we have this, we can get that the c term is 3 minus 1 by 2, which is equal to 5 by 2. So hence g of x is nothing but half x plus 5 by 2. So we have gotten the function g of x finally. Now once we have the function g of x, what we need to do is find the value of g of 0. Now g of 0 is nothing but the value of g of x at the point 0, x equal to 0. Hence, in this we will put x is equal to 0. So we do g of 0 equal to half of into 0 plus 5 by 2, and hence we get 5 by 2. So this is our answer, 5 by 2. Now since this is a gradient question, we can input it in fraction form, or we can input it as decimal form, which is 2.5. So this does not matter. We can input it either in fraction form or in decimal form. So in our question, we will grid it in here and we will write the decimal form.
क्लास 6 से 12 से लेके नीट, IIT, जेईई मेंस और एडवांस के लेवल तक 10 मिलियन से ज़्यादा स्टूडेंट्स का भरोसा। आज ही डाउनलोड करें डाउटनट ऐप या व्हाट्सएप कीजिए अपने डाउट्स 8400 400 400 पर।